From a life of humble beginnings to the heart of Ferelden's greatest struggles, Alistair's story is as complex as it is inspiring. But did you know that his relationship, both friendships and romance, play a massive role in shaping his journey? Today we'll explore the many sides of Alistair, the warrior, the friend, and maybe even the king. Alistair was born in 910 Dragon under a cloud of mystery. Believing himself to be the son of a servant, he lived as a stable boy. However, he was far more than he seemed. Alistair was secretly the illegitimate child of King Marek and the elven mage Fiona. To protect the Theron bloodline's reputation, Alistair was sent to the Chantry at a young age, where his life took on a new direction. After being sent to the Chantry monastery at Burnshire, Alistair was trained to become a templar. This rigorous training instilled martial skills and discipline, but Alistair found himself increasingly unhappy. He was ill-suited for the life of religious devotion, feeling stifled by the expectations placed on him. His time at the monastery was marked by a longing for something greater, as well as a growing resentment toward a life dictated by others. When Duncan, the commander of the Grey Wardens in Ferelden, discovered Alistair, he saw potential in the young Templar's abilities and spirit. Duncan's intervention was a turning point. Invoking the right of conscription, Duncan recruited Alistair into the Grey Wardens despite resistance from the Grand Cleric. This act not only gave Alistair an escape from the Chantry, but also presented him with a chance to redefine his identity and purpose. Initially, Alistair struggled with the burdens of being a Grey Warden, but over time he came to see the Wardens as a family of kindred spirits, outcasts and misfits, united by a shared mission. Duncan became a father figure to him, believing in Alistair's potential and offering the guidance and encouragement he desperately needed. Through this newfound camaraderie, Alistair began to thrive, embracing the Grey Warden's cause and finding a sense of belonging that had eluded him throughout his life. This transformation set the stage for his rise as one of Ferelden's most important heroes. The Battle of Ostagar was a defining moment for Alistair, thrusting him into the chaos of Ferelden's darkest hour. Tasked with lighting the signal beacon alongside the Warden, he played a crucial role in the strategy to combat the Darkspawn. However, Tairn Loghain MacTair's betrayal of Ferelden forces turned the tide of battle. Instead of reinforcing King Cailan and the Grey Wardens, Loghain ordered a retreat, leaving the King and nearly all the Wardens to be slaughtered. Alistair and the Warden barely survived, rescued by Flemeth, the enigmatic witch of the Kakari Wilds, and her daughter Morrigan. Awakening to the devastating news of Duncan's death, Alistair was crushed. Duncan was more than a mentor, he was a father figure who had believed in Alistair when no one else did. This loss ignited Alistair's deep resentment toward Loghain and solidified his determination to stop the Blight at any cost. Despite the heartbreak, Alistair rose to the challenge. With the Grey Wardens nearly wiped out, he dedicated himself to rebuilding their ranks and rallying allies across Ferelden. His loyalty to the cause and to the memory of Duncan drove him forward, transforming him into a determined leader. The camaraderie of the Warden and their companions helped him find strength in the face of overwhelming odds, setting the stage for his evolution into a true hero. Alistair's approval of the Warden's action is a key aspect of his development, reflecting his values and personal struggles. He responds positively to humour, honesty, and meaningful conversations about his past, asking about his experiences and affirming his emotional responses, such as his admiration for Duncan and the Grey Wardens, helps to strengthen bonds. Alistair appreciates when others share similar post-joining experiences, like when the Warden admitted to having nightmares, or having an increased appetite. Alistair approaches romance with sincerity, making his relationships deeply impactful. He is romantically inclined towards women and appreciates kindness, gentle flirtation and compliments. However, he is cautious about intimacy and prefers a gradual progression in relationships. Alistair expresses his feelings through heartfelt gestures, such as gifting a rose to the Warden. He values loyalty and expects clear intentions, confronting any divided affections among companions. His romantic arc is a journey of trust and respect, highlighting his thoughtful and endearing personality. As the fight against the Blight continued, a shocking revelation came to light. Alistair was not just a Grey Warden, but also the last living heir to the Theron bloodline. The truth of his royal lineage placed an immense burden on him, as the death of King Caelan left Ferelden without a ruler during one of its darkest times. Despite his deep reluctance, Alistair was faced with the possibility of ascending to the throne, a responsibility he never wanted and did not feel prepared for. Raised away from the royal court and unaware of his heritage for much of his life, Alistair's insecurities about his worthiness clashed with the political necessity of his bloodline. His potential claim to the throne created tension among allies and forced difficult decisions that shaped the fate of Ferelden. Whether Alistair embraced his heritage to become king or remaining a Grey Warden depended on the actions and guidance of his fellow Warden. Regardless of the outcome, the revelation of his royal bloodline symbolised Alistair's growth, moving from a life of obscurity and self-doubt to one where he could embrace his identity and contribute to Ferelden's future. Ultimately, Alistair's story is shaped as much by his relationships as by his battles. Whether as a steadfast friend, a loyal ally, or a romantic partner, Alistair's character reflects the choices of his fellow Warden. He's more than a Templar or a Grey Warden, he's a reminder that even those born into obscurity can rise to greatness with the right support and belief.